Hi everyone, and welcome to the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast. My name's Adam Sykes, the founder of SwiftCase, the professional productivity platform, and today I've got with me
Bill Whitby, a developer at SwiftCase.
Great. So today we were going to talk about, basically I've been reading a book on marketing, as I often do, and one of the stories in the book was about a guy called John Emery Powers back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. He was, I don't know whether he's officially the first copywriter, but marketing wasn't a big thing back then. And certainly the sort of the marketing industry that grew up as consumerism sort of took hold, certainly in America, especially throughout the early 20th century, going through to the 50s and sort of the Mad Men type marketing. This was very early days. And it was just as people were starting to you'd always have like the snake oil salesman spinning out mistruths, but you had shops and department stores and that sort of level of things and more official marketing going on, and people generally were obviously trying to tell a tale or certainly spin their product out to be the best, maybe not always being as truthful as they possibly could have been. Yeah. As we all know, that marketing has got a bad name for that over the years of selling, hot air. Effectively, you're not getting what you paid for. But this guy, John Emery Powers, was sort of the nemesis of these people in that he would only tell the truth. So one example was this department store owner had hired him and he wanted to sell these various products, and one of them was like a load of ties, and the advert that he came up with were the ties aren't as good as they look, but they're good enough. 25 cents or 25 whatever it was cents probably back then for a tie, inflation, and the thing was that his advert worked. And people got used to the fact that he was telling the truth, and it kind of gave the business a reputation that if you had their advert was part of this guy's advertising strategy, that you could rely on what he was saying, because no one's going to say the ties aren't great but they're good enough unless you meant it. You're not going to sell really great ties like that, are you? And his sort of philosophy was, if you want me to advertise something and you're not going to tell the truth, well then make what you're doing right so that you can tell the truth about it. So if you want me to say that your neckties are the best in the world, make sure that your ties are the best in the world. And I think another good example of one of the ones he did was there was a company who were going bankrupt, and they asked him to come in and help them because obviously they were desperate. And his advert was, we're going bankrupt. If our creditors see this advert, we'll be in trouble. However, if we sell all the stuff that we've got to sell, we'll be able to pay them off and there'll be no problem. And they sold all their stock and paid off the creditors, and all was great. And marketing does have such a bad reputation. And I'm wondering whether now we are seeing that people are coming around to this. They want ethical brands. They want brands that tell the truth. They kind of can spot the lies and the fake.
I don't know if they can. That's my argument. I don't think they can.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Do people want this honesty? And does it really work as a marketing?
They want the honesty, but more than they want the honesty, they want the credit for being able to spot honesty. So what I think, what it looks like, I haven't read the book, so I'm probably massively misguided. But
this is only one short bit. The book's about something is a bigger thing about using stories in marketing.
Yes, yeah. So the story there is that they got this guy, not that they told the truth to me. So we have brand ambassadors, and brand ambassadors are people, just celebrities, that maybe have quite a polished public image. So you basically pay them to either wear your product and be an ambassador for them. And as soon as they lose that image, then they cease to be an ambassador, they lose their sponsorships, don't they? So as we saw with Lance Armstrong, who stood for resurgence, resilience. He was a charitable human being, the indomitable spirit of humans. He stood for all those things until he didn't.
Yeah.
And then, in fact, he stood for the exact opposite of those things.
Yeah.
Now, once that guy had that one success where he sold out the store, the ties or whatever, then he becomes a brand ambassador, doesn't he? He's effectively a brand ambassador for any marketing company comes in And as soon as anyone realizes, it just depends how much people realize that he was the marketing person behind it or not.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, if it's, I suppose. Well, I don't think he did use it in that way. I don't think it was known. He was the copywriter, so it still would have been that company is telling the truth.
Yeah.
But I suppose the way it was written, you wouldn't have written it that way unless it was the truth. So it wasn't necessarily
that's what
it was
eventually
facilitated against him.
Yeah.
But if something really was good, then how would you? I suppose because he was saying it and it had its flaws included in the marketing strategy, and he was being transparent. Yeah. If it really was good, how would you tell the difference between someone who was really good at being transparent and the person who's just spinning you the tail?
If it was really good, they'd have to find some flaw to make it to show that they're being honest.
Yeah.
Which I mean,
some companies do, don't they? Some companies. I think one of the other examples in the book was the idea of when Volkswagen came out in I don't know whether it's the 60s or the end of the 50s, early 60s. Cars had always been in America that you wanted the big car, the status. So you went from, I think the example was you went from you had a Chevy, then you had an Oldsmobile, then you had a Cadillac. And Cadillac was the big thing, so it was the massive car. You had status, you had a Cadillac. And then Volkswagen came along and said, think small.
Yeah.
You can actually...
Was that actually in Mad Men? Oh no, that was
I don't know. I've never seen Mad Men. But yeah, so the idea was that they were selling kind of their flaws in that we're just this. We're just
are they selling their flaws or are they selling difference?
Well, I suppose it's selling difference as well. So, but there is this kind of
because they're selling individualism, aren't they?
They are. Yeah, I suppose that's a bit different. Yeah. But it's this idea that you don't have to be just spinning the big tail.
But if everyone's telling the truth, you won't stand out. So he only stood out. He only stood out in the context of everyone else. So he was a relief against that. So as soon as, like I'm saying, and this is the wider point I think, is that once you have something that's popular or that's successful, as soon as it's bandwagoned, then it's killed.
Yeah.
It jumps the shark and then you have to find another thing.
Isn't your point with Lance Armstrong? If you take Lance Armstrong back on, because Lance Armstrong himself, he could have been representing a terrible company or a good company, but it was all based on the premise of how he acted.
Yeah, exactly.
So the companies dropping him afterwards didn't actually necessarily say anything about the companies who he was representing, because they could, or they paid him to be associated, to have that good publicity. They may not have been good themselves, or they may have been brilliant. You don't. It's totally irrelevant, isn't it? We're talking about, if you take that back on stage and you talk about the actual companies, if they're honest and they're proved to be honest and they carry on being honest, if another company chooses to be dishonest and then it's found out, does that backlash necessarily reflect on the ones who are being truthful, or because they are being transparent and can back up their statements?
Oh, you mean
is it just better to be truthful?
Yeah, they get these guys always tell the truth.
Yeah. The car industry is a good example, actually, because we had the Volkswagen scandal, didn't we? Where there was emission scandals that everyone it was diesel emissions, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So, Volkswagen, then there was another company. But then did we just all assume they're all at it? Really, it didn't matter if you were the one company that was sticking to the rules, because it all gets assumed that all car companies are doing it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it only mattered in terms of fines for them, didn't it? I don't know if it actually mattered in terms
publicity-wise. I don't even know what. I remember Volkswagen, but I don't remember. There was another company, but I don't even remember them, because you kind of just write them off as, they almost been doing it by the time you get to 2.
So in this case, telling the truth, it didn't matter.
No.
I don't know if they did they own it in any way? Did they come out and say, we did it? I mean,
they did blame someone. They put it off as someone who'd been removed in the end, or whatever. So it was discounted as a rogue operative, not company.
Well, you can see,
not company policy. From from the very.
But it's kind of embedded in the nature of the business for them to sort of, if you put enough pressure on someone to get results, they will get the results no matter how they go. You know what I mean? And you're not putting constraints, you're not putting success criteria on it saying, it must be this and that. Well, actually, and it happens in programming as well all the time. Just because you see something doing something, it doesn't work this way you assume it does.
It
may be very hacky.
And
but it looks seamless and fluid with it all. You
Yeah.
don't know whether it's a bit of JavaScript doing something or it's actually all fully integrated.
Yeah.
This guy, just whoever did it, probably hid it so that you get the results. I can understand that, but the whole sort of ethos and the environment that made that happen is the responsibility of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a digression from what we were talking about. Yeah.
I suppose what we're saying is it better to just reflect the truth in your marketing and make your truth better?
Yeah.
Obviously from an ethical point of view, that sounds like the way to go.
Yeah.
But do you lose out because everyone else is not playing by the same rules? So I suppose drop your comments below about what you think about this issue in marketing and truth in marketing.
Yeah.
And, you know, is doing the right thing or always the best thing for your business?
And if you want to see the truth of our marketing, go to swiftcase.co.uk and see us on @SwiftCaseUK and all the social media channels.
Okay, and if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell to get notified of our new episodes out every Monday and Friday across YouTube and other podcast channels.
Yeah.
And we'll see you again next time on the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast. Thanks for listening.
Bye.